Great. Oh, well, welcome again, everyone, to this lovely webinar, Your Miraculous Life. And Dominic and I are just delighted to be here with you today to be able to share in a way that we know will inspire feelings of hopefulness, a reconnection to faith in what's possible for you, and more than anything, a sense of possibility and aliveness about a life that's more miraculous, a life that you can deeply enjoy and contribute and be of service with. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm Grace Kelly, and Dominic and I have been friends since 2016 when we did Super Coach Academy together. So we thought we'd give you a little bit of background first for those that don't know us. But we've been friends and mastermind partners since back then. And as our connection grew, supporting one another as mastermind partners, it became more and more clear that we were both really on the same page when it came to living. The joy of living miraculously, living in feelings of service and abundance. And so Dominic and I began to put together some programs. And you can find those programs on Dominic's website, I believe, and my own. But we recently came together for a program called Living Miraculously. And that program in itself has been a miracle. I keep thinking back, Dominic, to just walking the streets of London on a holiday in September and hearing those words, living miraculously. And I was so excited to get back from London and jump on the phone to Dominic and say, I think I've got the download for the next program. Shall we move forward on this one? And that's been it. We've been in connection ever since, sharing these essentials to a miraculous life and supporting people like yourselves on the journey to experiencing deeper feelings of well-being and unprecedented outcomes in your life. Some of our participants in that program have gone on to experience all sorts of miracles, not necessarily things they might have put their attention on when they came in. Some have been surprised by diagnoses being cleared up or job offers coming in, romantic relationships showing up. So just to begin with our webinar today, just set an intention for yourself. Like, what's the miracle that you're looking for? And remember that beautiful line from A Course in Miracles, a spiritual teaching, which says, it's not that we ask for too much, it's that we ask for too little. And so there's probably something in your heart today that you're looking for that might be a feeling, or it might be greater than a feeling. It might be an actual tangible thing that you're wanting to call in. Let this space be the space in which you literally get closer to that, and you learn today these essentials to a miraculous life that will support you in being able to experience all of that. So Dominic, that's enough of me there for a moment. Are we missing anything?
I love that you started with the intention space there. Yes. Just in context, Grace and I are both steeped in, many of you who are on the webinar today know us from various communities. And so we are both, because of Super Coach Academy, of course, you understand that we are both steeped in the teachings of Sydney Banks and the three principles. And we also share other teachings that we explore, like Abraham Hicks and other ones. And these have informed us tremendously in a lot of what we share and teach today. And so we are both quite grounded in those spaces. Yeah, we can proceed with this particular focus. And again, I emphasize the idea of participating over the next, I guess, 70 minutes or so. We'll go an hour and 15. And with intention, so that you're listening and really access a miracle just from this webinar, because that is what's possible. So Grace, maybe just to set up the essentials we'll cover.
Yeah, well, we'll get right in. And just one thing I would say is, you might be someone who attends a lot of webinars, or you take part in courses, and this may be helpful to you. As you're listening to us share, and the other participants that come on who might want to ask a question or share a reflection, just as best you can, try and listen from a deeper space. Because often we're listening to the dialogue in our head that's trying to understand or make sense of what it already knows and how what we're sharing fits into that. We want you to get a miracle today. We want you to experience something miraculous for yourselves. And part of that will come from a deeper listening, a listening whereby you're not trying to figure out how this already fits into what you know. All right. So as best you can, if you're noticing yourself in the dialogue with yourself, just step back, step back and come back into the present moment. So I'd love to start with some of these essentials to a miraculous life, because these are what we see as paving the way to an experience in life that is far more joyful, filled with flow, magic, miracles, and easiness. And I'll share a few of those essentials today. And we go deeper into those essentials over the course of our program. But one of the core essentials to living miraculously and to your most miraculous life is presence. Is that you begin to experience where you are right now in this moment. So often our mind is busy running ahead, trying to figure out, or living in regret from the past. There's a power to simply bringing yourself to the present moment as often as possible. And the only way we know when we're not there is when we're feeling these feelings of frustration, lack of enjoyment, irritation, resistance. All of those feelings are alerting us for when we're back in our busy mind, future planning or past regretting. So presence is a core essential to your miraculous life, because in that presence, you will experience feelings of gratitude for what is. You will experience feelings of well-being, who you really are. You'll experience clarity on what you truly desire, what you really want. And Dominic's going to share with us soon about true desire versus everything else in your head. So as we come into presence, we notice a feeling of appreciation. And that's another one of our essentials, living in appreciation. As we're living in appreciation more of the time, we're noticing the miracles that are occurring every day. We're plugged into the means being our most miraculous life, our most divine connection, our easiest flow, the way that things just happen, the synchronicities that unfold. Living in appreciation is another essential to your miraculous life, because it allows all of us to be in the moment, experiencing the miracle and getting even more of that because we're doing so. So you'll notice that where your attention goes, energy flows. You get more of what you see in life. So if you can imagine yourself becoming more present, living more in feelings of appreciation, and then from that place, discovering that you're getting more and more to be grateful for. And when I say more and more, it's not just things that we're talking about, like it's also more and more feelings of enjoyment, clarity, hopefulness, connectedness, aliveness. A third essential that I'd like to share with you today is, you know, as we look towards your miraculous life, as we look in that direction, a third essential that, and I'll go into that a little deeper later, is the realization that there are synchronicities and support all around us, that we are so divinely supported, that we are so well looked after. And if we would just get out of the way, if we would simply allow ourselves to receive that support, I call it a spiritual support. If we would allow ourselves to move out of the way and receive that and intend that on a daily basis, we would have a more miraculous experience of life every single day. I want to give you an example of that in my own life just the other day. When, you know, I woke up in the morning, and as I would normally do, since we've been journeying on this Living Miraculously program together, I kind of just set the intention for what I'd like that day. And I could feel myself moving into feelings of appreciation, you know, another one of the essentials, moving into feelings of appreciation, getting myself present to begin the day. And it occurred to me, you know, I'd really like a miracle of more cash, please. I had such a massive bill come in and kind of knock me about. And for a moment, I could have gotten, you know, worried or scared or panicked, but I know better than that nowadays, in that area at least. And I literally just set the intention with that presence. Send support. Thank you. I'll do my bit. I'll move out of the way. Send support. I invited a spiritual support, if we want to call it that. And I spent my day in enjoyment. I didn't get into worry, like I said, but I did look for synchronicities, another one of our essentials to a miraculous life. And one of the synchronicities that showed up for me was that I got a phone call out of the blue from a guy that I buy wine from at my local Enoteca here in southern Italy. And he said, "Grace, are you free today?" And immediately I said, "Yes." And he said, "Well, it's just, I need help. There's some clients here that need translation." And I said, "Well, you know, like I don't speak fluent Italian," but I suddenly realized, Grace, there's a synchronicity here. So I said to him jokingly, "You know, Adriano, I'm happy to do translation, but you're going to have to, this is going to cost a good bottle of wine at least." And he said, "No, Grace, the clients are going to pay you directly." I said, "Oh, okay, right." So off we went. We did this translation work. It turned out it was a lovely American couple were purchasing a house, and they were speaking with the builder. And really, they understood a lot of what the builder was saying. But I was there as a kind of peace of mind, if you like, that in case there was anything untoward, I would alert them. Well, it came to the end of the session. I'd hardly done anything. I appreciated the opportunity. Nothing was spoken about cash in advance. And they said to me, "Well, how much do we owe you, Grace?" And I said, I don't know, whatever you think. And they were a bit stunned by that. And then the wife said, well, you've spent an hour with us. What do you normally charge for a coaching session? And I didn't want to get into the details that I don't work on an hourly basis type of thing. But a number landed quickly, right? Just came in and I went with it. And I thought, gosh, I can't really charge that for translating. It didn't do anything. I just sat there, blah, blah, blah. I said the number. They took out a wad of cash and they handed it over. Now, that was a miracle, friends, for a couple of reasons. It wasn't on my effort to go looking for that extra cash and figure it out, even though I woke up that morning slightly worried, okay? But I didn't go down the path of worry. I went down the path of, all right, spiritual support, more income needed, more expenses happening here than we realized. And out of the blue, this opportunity on my home turf, an opportunity that I'm not even plugged into, arrives. Now, that's an essential to living miraculously, that you notice that you ask for the spiritual support and you notice the synchronicity. Most people don't notice the synchronicity and innocently forget to ask for the spiritual support because there's no presence. We're innocently frantic in our busy minds, worrying about how we're going to make that money or get that guy or get that girl or fix that problem. When we are living miraculously, when we are in our most miraculous life, we're in some of those essentials every day. A level of presence, asking spiritual support, watching for synchronicity, living in appreciation. And your life will just get better and better. Will just feel more and more aligned and alive. Not because you suddenly change countries or change husbands or wives or, win the lottery, but simply because you get plugged into the mains. And in the mains is everything you need for the most miraculous experience of life. So those are some essentials, but there is another, and I want Dominic to come in on that one, because another one of these essentials revolves around knowing your true desire with a capital T-D. Dominic, anything you want to share there or anything you want to go straight in on?
Yeah, thanks, Grace. The true desire is there's a few things to relate about this. So, and it really goes to who you are. This question about who it is that you are, because the space of miracles comes from knowing who you really are. The more you are living as who you really are, the more access you have to miracles. Now you say, well, but of course I'm living as who I really am. Who else would I be living as? And you could be living as who you think you are. And who you think you are is not very miraculous. So there is this important distinction about who you think you are, which is simply a limitation of who you really are. And who you really are is far more than you think. So there's a relationship here to this true desire piece, because a true desire is understood from the perspective of all that you are, from the perspective of who you really are. A true desire is understood. A true desire is only known from that broader perspective. From the little perspective of who I think I am, I basically can only come up with the things that I think I want. The things that I think I want are mostly tiny little things and not very miraculous. And within what I think I want is often contained a resistance and a blocking of what it is that I really want. So if you imagine you are looking around, depending the topic, but in finances, you might look around and you say, oh, too many bills. There's, I need more money here. Things are tight. So mostly from our little mind, personal mind, what we are noticing and what is glaring at us is what it is that we do not want. And so then when you say, what is it you want? In your mind, the answer is to not have all this debt. If you're interested in a relationship and you say, what is it that you want? It's to not be alone. If you look at the area of health and vitality and you say, what is it you want? To not have this pain in my body, to not be sick. So notice that from the perspective of your mind, there is not a true desire. There is rarely a true desire. Your attention is not, or not often, on what it is that you really want. Your attention and focus is on what it is that you do not want. There are no miracles available as you focus your consciousness and attention on what it is that you do not want. Miracles must be allowed. They cannot be achieved. And they can only be allowed when your attention is on them. And as your attention is on what it is you really want, that then you have an access, potential, an ability, a possibility of allowing that true desire to come forth. So in our program, right away, the very first session is really about true desire, because we ask you to come in so that there's examples. So we ask you to come in with something that you're really focused on. So people come in with business, health, the relationship, different things that they are focused on, that they want miracles around. And we clear up this true desire idea and really looking at getting that clear in your own mind so that you are becoming more calibrated, aligned, in harmony in your own mind with the true desire, the pure desire. This relates, and Grace, I don't know, did you want to go back and forth, or did you on another principle, or do you want to move on to the next? What would be better?
No, keep going, Dominic.
Well, there is really this distinction, which is another essential we look at. Miracles are effortless, so they don't require you. They don't require your work, your action, your effort, because miracles are not achieved. Miracles can only be allowed. Now, just to be clear, this does not mean that action is not involved. Because as you line up and are in harmony with what it is that you really want, as Grace was speaking to, you are in harmony with a vast and infinite spiritual presence in that moment, which is also an infinite intelligence, which is coming through you. It is what lives you, it is what breathes you. And that intelligence inspires you. It inspired, and I love that example. It inspired Grace to be moving around on that day and to be open as you move around, to be open to being near and around what brings the access to what you want. So it is not through action that miracles are achieved, but action is always involved. And so you are always inspired to action and movement, but it is never effort. It never feels like trying. It never feels like achievement. There's a principle we eventually get to that speaks to the only thing that is ever in the way of miracles for you, for any of us. The only thing that can ever be in the way of miracles is thought. Only thought has the power to block and to stop miracles. Thought has the power to do that, because thought is what is creating your experience. Your thought. So the only thing that can block miracles is your own thought, your own thinking. So in the moment, this is quite often the case. The moment you say, what I want, what I really want is a loving relationship. What's the next thought? And what you notice the next thought is, well, where am I going to find that? Those are the rarest things in the world. That would just mean I have to get on those stupid dating apps. Who wants to do that? And there we begin the resistance to the miracle. So the resistance begins to what you truly desire. Right? I want to feel healthy and alive. I want to be able to go for a walk. And then the next thought is, like, that's going to happen. I'm in so much pain right now. The more I walk, this hurts. And this thing is chronic. It's been around forever. And so your own thought comes in to ensure that this true desire will not make it through into your experience. You can never experience anything you do not think. And you will experience everything that you do think. So you will not experience ever anything you do not think. And you will experience everything that you do think. So in this program, we kind of clear some of that stuff up. And by pointing to what is it that I want rather than what I do not want, because in our thinking, these two things are mixed together. And what we get in life is we get some of what we want and we get some of what we do not want in direct proportion to our attention to it. And then we say, boy, I would love this miracle. I would love to have this miracle, but my thinking is about this miracle and against this miracle and against the total opposite of this miracle. So my life looks like, my experience of my life looks like all of this. So this is what we do as we progress through some of these principles and essentials in the program.
And it's why, again, A Course in Miracles says that a miracle is a shift in perception. As Dominic was sharing about what gets in the way of our miraculous life, that thought. So we're really looking towards this shift in perception, this shift in thinking, which occurs as we follow along these principles, as we go along with these exploring these essentials. One of the things that we've seen that really supports your miraculous life and supports you experiencing your miracles is in your getting out of the way and letting the infinite intelligence that's breathing you and looking through your eyes right now at us as we're sharing, you know, that as you get out of your way and allow yourself to be guided and connected with and in tune with this part of yourself, you experience yourself living miraculously. I even go as far to say through our program that there's another essential of spiritual support all around you and within you that is eager for you to have the miracle of your heart, that is eager for you to be living in greater well-being. That this spiritual support is not like out there removed from you in some sort of figure that you can't connect with, but rather is a part of your everyday experience in life. And as you become present, as you're living in appreciation more, as you're tuned into the synchronicities, as you're calling on your spiritual support, as you're literally following your true desire, you can expect more and more of this miraculous life. In our program, I will give very tangible examples of just how you can call on that support, because so often we're busy relying on our little selves. We're busy trying to figure out the problem or how we're going to get what it is we're trying to get to. And there comes a point where your own feeling of exhaustion, your own feeling of hopelessness is there to invite you to see that you're efforting when there's this incredible spiritual support all around you available for you. When there's this incredible infinite intelligence that is wanting to express through you and create through you. I, in my own life, have hundreds of examples. I think there's even a little book at this stage, Dominic. Hundreds and hundreds of examples of calling on spiritual support. I reference this as our spiritual team. It's the part of us and the energy around us that gets us out of the way and into the alignment. Because when we're trying to do this on our own, it gets tough. And so I have all of these examples of miraculous support from this energy behind life that really, really is there to take care of you and guide you. And often we're getting that initially, that support through a feeling. I don't know anyone that I work with that has come to me who didn't know before something was about to happen, who didn't have that feeling, that guidance, that divine guidance, that wasn't the right path for them, but they innocently went ahead anyway, only to discover, that it wasn't, things got messy. We have this incredible system, guidance, wisdom, intuition, this spiritual support speaking to us regularly, and part of getting more and more in connection with these essentials means that you're beginning to discern between divine guidance, your spiritual support, your team, and everything else in your head, everything else that kind of just runs habitually. that alone makes for a more miraculous experience of life, friends. Because that alone is allowing you to move forward with trust and faith and clarity and direction in a way that you're living a miraculous life instead of trying to get to the miracle or clear up the mess. So as we go along in our journey, you can expect also to be tapping in more and more to that spiritual support that's always available. And I don't know anyone out there that prefers to just effort on their own back and end up in exhaustion when there's this whole world of support, one thought away, one invitation away. And some of what Dominic and I do is obviously to help you. We get very practical around this. This isn't airy fairy stuff. This is, we set practical direction around how you can be in that experience more of the time with your very own spiritual support team. Is there anything that you want to pick up on, Dominic?
Yeah, we'll be actually doing that even in this webinar as we go to Q&A in a few minutes. One thing that I really want to emphasize is it's easy to listen to this right now and think that what we're talking about is something you and something else. And so I just want to kind of bring that. We're only talking about you. This is why I said there's you and there's all that you are. So when we talk about you and something greater than you, and we talk about you and a team, or you and a spiritual team, or you and a spiritual essence, we are not talking about two different things. We are talking about the same thing in many ways. There are many aspects to you and to who you are. And this broader perspective, you can perceive in many, many, many different ways. And so the interpretation of that comes out in different ways: a spiritual interpretation, spiritual team, unique characters or aspects. These are all aspects of you. There is really only one thing going on, and that is all happening you in your own consciousness. And what we're doing in this program is taking the identification that you have from who you think you are to all that you really are. And this is not at all vague. It is so real, so present right now. All you have to do is pause for a moment and notice you are breathing. It's that simple. If you just pause for a moment, you'll notice you are breathing. And then if you notice, you'll also notice that it is not you doing that. It is not you breathing. When you cut your finger, what you'll notice is that it will heal. And you will notice that it is not you that heals it. So when I say you, I mean not the you that you think you are is not healing, not the you that you think you are is breathing. So what is it? What is that energy? It is as close to you as you. You're not separate from it. It is an energy. That is the same energy and intelligence that has created the universe and everything in it. Can you imagine an intelligence that is able to take the food that you put into your body and extract nutrients from it and move them to various cells, maybe it's the same thing, but move them to various cells in your body and have them renew and rejuvenate themselves. So if you imagine that kind of an intelligence, and then imagine if there was anything wrong with you. I know some people have, interest around physical and health and all of that. And they go, hey, something's broken over here. Something's wrong with me. Well, this intelligence, this energy that lives and breathes you, only wants your thriving. It only wants you to come alive. It only wants an expression through your physical body to the maximum life, a maximum expression of the possibility that it is through you. So when it comes to, well, you know, I have this wrong with me, how do I fix it? The same way you fix the cut on your finger. You allow the healing. So you have no idea, and neither do doctors, on how to fix that cut. Otherwise, they'd stop putting a Band-Aid on it and waiting for it to heal. What they would do is they would actually heal the thing. But what they do instead is stick a Band-Aid on it so you stop interfering with it. And then that energy that is living and breathing you heals it, because that energy comes in and all it wants is restoration, and all it wants is pure health. All it wants is vitality. So as long as you're not interfering, that's all that happens. And remember, all interference is thought. All interference is thought. And you say, well, but this is physical. This is not thought. But there is no separation between what is thought and what is physical. It's all thought. Take a thought, put it in your mind, keep thinking it long enough, and we will see the manifestation physically. Thoughts do become things, and your thoughts do become things, and your thoughts do manifest and express themselves physically through your body also. So worries, those will manifest physically. Your joy, it will manifest physically. So anyway, I just wanted to put that one bit in around integrating some of this that we're talking about. So Grace, maybe before we get to the questions, do you want to do a quick thing about our 12-week program, and then we'll open up for specifics?
Yeah, great. I'm glad we're having time as well to open up for questions, Dominic. That's wonderful for today. Well, if you're getting a sense that you'd like to look in this direction more deeply with us, we would love to invite you to have a look at the whole program that's on offer. I believe you have a link there somewhere, Dominic, do you? We have
yes.
Essentially our Living Miraculously program is commencing April 7th. Friday, April 7th, and we will go on a 12-week journey that includes some integration weeks as well, where you're doing, you know, your own practical assignments that we set you. But essentially, if you have a look at the page there, you'll see that we have our content laid out. Oh, great. Lee's just written in, I love the program, I'm coming back. We have great. We have the content laid out for you week by week, and you know, each session has a theme and is followed by interaction with you on exactly what you're wanting support around. You know, it's coaching and it's Q&A, and the participation is incredible from our community. This is actually the third time we're running the program in the space of is it 6 or 7 months?
Yeah, this started after you had the vision for it, and it started to come together. And it was at the end of last year that we ran a little round. It's, I guess not so little. A number of people resonated with it. But by the third session, it could have even been by the second session of that first round, we started having participants say, hey, this isn't going to end here, is it? And we're like, oh, yeah. They like, could we continue? Like, could we do this again? And so Grace and I were like, well, okay, I guess. And then that's what started. Then we did a January one. We thought, well, for the new year, let's do a program. And so then the second program came, and we were shocked to see nearly half the participants of the first program joined to do the continuation in January. And a similar thing happened as we got to the roughly third or fourth session. People started to say, you will continue this, right? And so we are putting this other program.
Yeah. But I think our schedules for the rest of the year mean that this is likely the last opportunity within 2023 to join us. And so have a look at the page. You'll get a feeling if this is for you. You'll just know, and you'll also see that there's an opportunity here for you to move out of the mundane and into the miraculous, and out of all the kind of overthinking, worrying, stressing, et cetera, and into an experience of life that is just far more joyful and expansive and comfortable. So, I mean, if that speaks to you, I can see so many people are writing in the chat box. I've registered for the 3rd time, coming back in. This program saved my life after I lost my son. There's a lot here. And yes, to those of you that are experiencing any sort of loss or grief or any sudden change, this is a great support system for you. So come on in. We'd love to have you. And Dominic, we've got an early bird.
Yes. By the way, I just want to say, and Lee, thank you for sharing that about your son. One thing about this program is the community of who is in this program. I mean, I get on in these sessions, I am so moved and inspired by who people are and what they bring into the program, and then to watch these transformations and to hear, these insights and what people see in it. It is so moving. And so it is a very supportive and uplifting community as well. So yeah, I want to say that. The program we have, there is an early bird of $100 off. The program's normally $398 a 12-week group coaching, and it's $298 for the 12 weeks with the $100 early bird. The early bird goes until April 3rd, next Monday. Yeah. So
you got a week on the early bird, but here's what we feel like doing is, if you're booking today, I can see some of you are booking right now. Those of you that are taking that inspired action from just hearing this webinar, so for those of you taking action now, let's throw in, Dominic, remember our great workshop, Coming Alive with Joy. Let's throw in that as an inspired bonus. So if you're booking from within the next 24 hours, let's say, you're also going to get that inspired bonus. Coming Alive with Joy is a workshop, 6 hours of recordings that myself and Dominic did with an incredible group over a year ago, I believe. And you'll get that. That has a $99 value as well. So you'll get the early bird and you'll get the Coming Alive with Joy bonus. Anything else to share there, or shall we open up to questions?
Just a reminder that it's practical. So, if you participated in some of these things where, it's about understanding and exploration and all of that, of course it's about that for sure, because that is really the grounding from which we teach all the time. However, it is also really practical. In other words, we're looking at what manifests actually in life. We do not see a separation between your own understanding of who you are and your true nature and the nature of reality. As your understanding of that deepens, it must express itself in your life, or we're all fooling ourselves. So you cannot be in a place where you say, I understand that my true nature is abundance. I understand that my true nature is vitality and love, that is my true nature. But then my experience is one of scarcity. I don't have enough of this or that. I'm not feeling that love here and there. So there is fully integrated approach that we use, and we keep it very practical. We use exercises that we send you off to do, and there's integration weeks, and you're going to be playing with these things, but we're expecting miracles. and right when you sign up, you're going to see that there's a miracle journal where we ask you to track them and notice them. And so that's all part of it there too.
Yeah, great for that distinction. Yeah. So let's open up. What would anybody like to ask a question, bring forward something? Dominic and I are here for another little while to support you with Miraculous Life. How can we help you today? Christina.
Hi there. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, hi. Nice to meet you, Dominic and Grace. I'm new to both of you. I just learned about this course really maybe synchronistically a couple of weeks ago, and I was super eager to join. A question that I have is, and perhaps we'll go into more detail in this in the very first session, is about the true desire. I am working on right now building my own coaching business, and both my husband and I have been struggling definitely more with scarcity and not a great financial situation. And so on the one hand, I notice I have this desire for, like, when I really feel into it, I just feel such like excitement and joy about this abundant, wealthy life. And then I also have this kind of equal desire of building up my coaching practice, and it's exciting thinking about being in service and what I want to do in that. And so I'm wondering, are they separate? Because on the one hand, I think, well, I suppose abundance of money can come in varieties of ways. And I don't want to just am I pigeonholing it by saying it's just going to be this coaching business that's going to bring that? I guess I'm a little bit muddled around those two things. And I'm wondering if you can speak to that.
Dominic, do you want to speak to that? And then
yeah. So, Christina, what we look at with that is abundance is true nature. Abundance is the only truth there is. In fact, I don't even think abundance is a big enough word. My distinction for it is one of overflowing abundance. I don't even think abundance is big enough. So it's overflowing abundance, which means far more than I could ever use. When you have any desire, there's a couple of things to distinguish about that. So we look, there's something there around a business, a coaching business, and all of that piece. And so we'll help to refine this. But just to be clear, that desire, the pure desire within what you're saying, that's not something you thought up. You think you thought it up, but really you felt an energy and something moving within you that wants that expression in this life. You felt that. It is vibration, it is energy, and you interpret. It's this work, this kind of work. It is a coaching business. It would look like this. So that desire, true desire, is interpreted, expressed into thought, into form. Sydney Banks, if you're familiar with three principles, said that the formless energy first comes into form first by a thought. So you shape it into form by a thought. This is important to realize because you're not the one who thought this up from your little mind. And so here it is, but you can feel it. I can tell in the way you spoke that you really feel it, right? Now, there is no way that you could feel what you feel that there wouldn't be the possibility for its full manifestation. And by the way, far beyond what you think. Okay, because you're just trying to keep up with what this infinite intelligence is wanting to express. So what you've caught a little glimpse of, and you've put some words around, your words and description are tiny compared to what it really is. But that's okay. As long as it feels good, as you shape it and give it form with thought, that's fine. But how's this supposed to happen? And where would the clients come from? And how would this business work? And all of that. And here's the thing. That do you really believe that this infinite intelligence that nudged this through you doesn't know? So it's kind of like urging you to give these gifts to the world, and it urges that desire through you, and then it goes, oh yeah, I forgot about the paying clients. Where the hell are those going to come from? Right? So basically, everything is contained in the intelligence. And here's an Abraham quote: is by the time you conceived of that as a thought, 99.999% of the creation is complete. That is 5 nines. 99.999% of the creation is complete. What do we mean by that? It is like an acorn planted in the ground, that thought planted in your mind. That acorn contains the intelligence of the entire manifestation of what it is. So this idea for a coaching business that comes through into your mind is done. It's finished. Your job is around allowing, right? And we're not looking for instant manifestation. If all you had to do right now was close your eyes, open your eyes, look at your calendar. Oh my gosh, it's full of clients and they're all paying me, right? That sounds like fun. Sounds like fun. So next you would close your eyes and then you would say, I really would love the house to be bigger and, a nicer place to live. You close your eyes, open them up, you'd suddenly be in a new home. This is really cool. I'm loving this. Close your eyes again. I want a new car. Open it up. There it is. Pretty soon, life will not be worth living. Keep that up and life will not be worth living. You did not come for all of these creations. You are a creator. You are not here for these creations. You are here to create. You are a creator. You must create. That idea for that coaching business is because you get to be a creator. You get to mold it in your mind with your own thought and manifest it into reality. You get to do that. You get to experience the creator that it is that you are. And every bit of the way, you will be inspired along the way to that. That helpful?
I liked listening to it, that's for sure. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
No, I go for it.
I just, in your question, I also heard something around the scarcity you're currently experiencing and sort of waiting, as the coaching business does become more of a reality. And I was reminded of when I was starting out with my own coaching business and having that same level of inspiration that I hear in you, to serve others, to be of service. But I still wanted money to go shopping. Like, I was having to ask my partner, my not so dearly departed partner, Francesco, who's now not with us anymore, but I was having to ask him for money to go to the supermarket, for money to buy clothes, for money. And at some point, that was just getting in the way of my bliss of wanting to become a coach and wanting to be of service. But, you know, I stayed in connection to the infinite intelligence that's smarter than me, to provide, to show up, to find a way. And as I was walking along the beach one day, somebody stopped me and said, would you be open to teaching some English to my children? And my husband's a businessman and he needs English help too. That wasn't on my radar, Christina. I kind of left my job in London as a language teacher and didn't want to do that anymore. But the synchronicity was, here I was wanting to get my coaching business going, desiring to serve, but really wanting to also have the manifestation of money now. And so I said yes to that invitation from life. And it allowed me to keep going with the development of the coaching business without any sort of resistance at the same time. I don't know if that speaks to you, but I thought I would share that example.
Yeah, it definitely speaks, certainly wanting that money now and while the business is building. And I think what's speaking to me about especially this course is to really start to, I guess, practice or learn more to be in connection with that guidance, because I really do believe that's where it's at. And I really do see my thoughts get in the way, 100%. And so I'm open to, being guided to something that I wouldn't be expecting. So yeah, I think maybe it's just, I'm really eager to get into this course and explore this.
Come join us. Come and join us.
I'm there. I'm already signed up, so I look forward to it. Yeah. Okay.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thanks, Christina.
Is it Lisa? Am I saying your name right?
Liza. Woohoo!
Nice.
Okay. Hello, everybody. So amazing to share this space. So on the heels of what the lovely woman who was just speaking about her coaching business, she mentioned the word expectation. And I think a powerful thing I'm seeing from this program and the power of spiritual programs is keeping you in that feeling place of expectation that you have a team that's supporting you. And so, for example, there was just a death in my family. And so when you're kind of in the midst of that lower vibration, it's hard to kind of be in that expectation, or it has been. And so I guess what's interesting is I was falling asleep the other night and there was a realization that I wanted answers I didn't have. And as I was closing my eyes, I was like, God, I really want these answers. And I know that when I'm complaining, I can't get them. But then I had this epiphany of it's me that has the answers. So then I was like, I am wise. So I'd love to know my wisdom from my whole self. And I had this back and forth of realizing the big me was trying to convince the human me of the expectations. The big me was we know that death is empty and meaningless and it's just another it's I know all the words about what death is or all these things. And then it was I was trying to convince the part of me that really believed it. And my question is, what is an empowering dynamic? What's an empowering conversation as we're at that kind of preliminary basic place where we're in process of changing our beliefs? So we don't yet have that expectation. We don't yet have that belief system, but we cerebrally are okay, I've been told these things. I have the module. I've read the books. There's still a place that doesn't believe it, so it's kind of that we're abundant. No, no, we're not, but we know we could be. I'm just curious. Dominic, you kind of touched on the beginning and it really inspired me because that's where I'm kind of at, is I feel like the Gemini is the two twins. They're we're abundant. Look at the
bills, Grace, did you want to start or you want?
Go ahead, Dominic.
Lisa, we're Lisa or Liza? Sorry, I'm
Liza, like Minnelli.
Liza. Thank you. We make this very easy and effortless. So in other words, given our understanding, we're grounded in Abraham Hicks and as well as 3 principles in Sydney Banks. This is not thought control. This is not mind control. This is not changing mindsets. This is not digging up all the limiting beliefs and squashing them, destroying them, and blowing them up. We make this really, really, really easy. The only truth that is flowing through you right now, the only truth that wells up from within you is truth. It's pure truth. It's what knows that there is abundance. It's what knows that life is eternal. So that is the only truth that there is. And I don't have to go anywhere to find it. I don't need to work my way to it, and I don't need convincing. So here's the cool thing too. Although it may feel like your broader perspective is wanting to convince your finite perspective, in fact, it does not. Your broader perspective simply knows truth and keeps breathing it into you. That's all. It's not trying to convince you in any way. And it simply is truth, and it is only flowing truth. It is only flowing love. It is only flowing peace, abundance, well-being, joy, thriving. All of those things is the only thing. And it has imagined and gifted you. It has imagined you as a creator made in its own image, and has imagined you as that creator and gifted you with free will, a free mind where you can focus on anything. And so you can focus on anything. And when you focus your consciousness, that's what we call thought. You could focus on any thought, but you cannot focus on a thought without vibrating with it. You cannot focus on a thought without feeling that thought within you. And so now what we're looking at is what feeling really is the only thing here. There's no exercises required or nothing. All there are is being present in the moment with attention to feeling and being conscious of my own feeling, aware of my feeling. And what that tells me is when I don't have a lot of my own thinking, then the only flow that there is this intelligence, this truth. The moment my attention goes to a thought that happens to be floating around that says something like, maybe this won't work out for me, of pessimism, or boy, I hope I get some money soon because I'm going to be in big trouble, right? If not, so I get a worry or a piece coming in. I will feel that thought within me. And that vibration of that thought compared to the vibration of truth is a much lower vibration. And when you take these two vibrations, bump them up against each other, you will feel the disharmony of what you are focused on. And what it says is you will continue to feel the disharmony unless you're willing to let go of. Stop being so interested in that thought. Let go of that thought. Yeah, but if I let go of that thought, then what? Well, then you'll have intelligence. But what if I stopped worrying? What if I stopped being pessimistic? Like, then what am I left with? Then you're left with intelligence. Then you're left with the infinite intelligence, the all-knowing that would flow. And that you can tell it came in because you rise in vibration. You feel so much better from that focus than you do from your own. Yeah. So this will be easy.
Yeah, that was powerful. And just really quick before I get off, I loved how you mentioned we have free will. And there was immediately like an understanding of, isn't that cool? I can think this thought or think a different thought.
Yes. Yeah.
Whoa, I so appreciate the freedom that like the creator gave me to think anything. And do I want to continue to think this? Or like, do I want to think this other, which feels better? Like it becomes like a game. So I really like, whoa, thank you for that.
Love it. Thanks, Liza. Last one, we'll go Damien and then we'll close.
Good morning. There's no hands up. Nobody raised their hand. I'm like, okay, I'm jumping in.
It was a sign for you.
Well, anybody, this is my third round. And this course is ridiculous. That's all I can say. It's great. So, I never pay attention to names. So, Christina and Liza, this is what I want to talk about. I worked with Dominic and I'm going to work some more. So, okay. I love the twins, yeah, no, yeah. They're fighting. So coaching. So Dominic, you did it by attraction. I heard your story inside and out and everything. So I'm working with somebody, you got to make at least 5 to 10 phone calls a day. And it's so, my question is effort to effortless. I don't want him, it's like, should I make a bunch of phone calls? Or you need to go to these places where these people are and like, hello, how you doing? And try to drum up a conversation. Should I do that a little bit? I don't want to. I don't want to chase. And that's why I do my videos. I do Facebook Live videos just to get stories out there. That feels good to me. Or effortless would be, and like you say, and Abraham says, don't be the law of attraction. Effortless would be, okay, when did I think about something and stuff did show up? So go through old stories to think about how miracles showed up to raise my vibration of raising my clients that I want. It's like, oh, this is maybe more precise. So what is your avatar? What clients are you going after? I don't know. So the question is, how do I know what clients to go after effortlessly instead of pushing and shoving? I think it might be this or it might be that. I think that's a clear question.
Yeah, you won't go after them. They'll just come to you. That's kind of what's going to be the precise client rather than you going after them. They will come to you. And Damien, I think, in listening to what you said too, is give yourself some credit. Like you're doing far better than you think. In other words, the fact that you're doing Facebook Lives, which I've watched some of them, and you are loving it and you are having fun and you are joyfully expressed and it really shows and says a lot about who you are and what you do. Like that is a very allowing, easy, effortless thing as I watch that you do that.
Right.
And then in your mind, you're kind of going, and now notice the resistance. Your mind suddenly says, but shouldn't I be doing something else? Like, aren't there other rules here? Like, should I be networking also? Should I be reaching out to others? Should I be right? Like all of that starts to come in, right? When you think about this, it's as easy as there is a seed that will grow and it will feel good every step of the way. In other words, you start and there's nothing but a thought that comes into your mind of a desire that you have. And then an initial little bit of thinking you get, an inspiration you get is around, maybe I should be doing a Facebook Live. Like maybe I should say something out there about who I am and what I do. And that's good and it feels good. And you do it and it starts to feel good. And suddenly momentum ensues. Here's what you need to know is that wisdom is guiding you by that feeling. There's a reason Joseph Campbell said, follow your bliss. This good feeling of doing this will keep moving and moving and moving, always in the direction of bliss. So it will expand and expand and expand. Any doing you do will feel better.
You just made it clear the difference between want to and have to. And real fast, I want to say, Grace, what you said was really loud. So how much do you normally charge? And really wanting money and needing money and not saying, I mean, what I heard was really trusting. Well, not being a doormat, but like, I'm not even supposed to be here anyway, whatever you want to give. And I was like, I mean, you could have flexed a little muscle, well, normally I charge this. And I was like, wow, there was no, what's the right word? no hungry manipulation. It was like really trusting, really, you know, I just want a bottle of wine. This guy showed up, you know, that's all I want. You know, I didn't ask for this much money. So it was a good example for reminding me, just what do you want to do? What do you want to do? Do you need to know your avatar? Do you need to push? Didn't feel right. So I asked somebody, you know, Dominic knows this. I'm working with another coach to trade, and it didn't feel right. You need to, you have to. And I was like, no. So yeah, so wanting versus,
you know, in this next round of the course, I'm so glad you'll be with us. But in this next round of the course, we're really going to look also at this inspired action piece. You know, because what I was hearing as Dominic was sharing, what I was hearing as you were sharing, is there is a space of inspired action versus everything that we are taught out there about how to get a business going. I mean, I started my business in the south of Italy. People thought a coach was a bus. So I didn't, there weren't coaches. There was no, it had to come from inspired action. Because if I had gone out as whoever had advised you to drum up business and go talk, people just didn't know what coaching was. So, you know, follow that inspired action, and we're going to go even deeper into that as we move through.
So, real quick, what I want to say is everybody said the same thing. I really want to coach, but you said it the loudest, and the other girl said it too. But I really want to go shopping. But I really want to coach. But I really want to go shopping. That's a rough wrestle. You know what I mean? It's so I look forward to, you know, it's a welcome
material.
Yeah, it's like I really want to help you, but I really want to go shopping. So anyway, thank you everybody, and thank you Dominic and Grace, and yeah, this is I look forward to this workout, and I like you extended it from 8 to 12. That's like very big, very nice. Big. So everybody, you're in for a great effortless workout. That's all I can say.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. Dominic has posted in the chat some more links for us there. There's a couple of questions coming in, Dominic. Can we access the bonus program if we already registered? Yes, you can. If you've already registered, you'll get access to the bonus, Coming Alive with Joy. It's a fantastic workshop. You'll absolutely love it. How much individual guidance do we get in this group setting? So it's not, just reframe that for me, Liza. Are you wanting to know how one-to-one, or what do you mean by that?
Oh yeah, just is it kind of in this similar setting where we start out with broad stuff to cover the modules, and then we get to have some specific opportunities?
Yes, it is. Yes, it
okay.
is. Have a look on the page and you'll see the themes, but we always open up to your requirements, your questions, what you're needing. All righty. Anything else there, Dominic?
I'm looking forward to the next 12 weeks, and looking forward to working with so many of you, as many of you again, and then so many new folks who will be joining us. This community is just wonderful, and kind of all the ways and varieties of folks that come in and give it a different flavor and character each time. But it's miraculous. It really is. So excited to work with you.
Is a miracle too. Well, thanks for being here, everybody. Your participation was beautiful, and we look forward to being with you on April 7th for our first session. And enjoy this replay. If you're listening, don't be afraid to listen for a second or a third time, because sometimes you hear something that you maybe just missed when you were first time around. So keep listening, and early birds available till next Monday. We'll see you all very soon. Lots of love.
All right. Okay. Thanks. See everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.